Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, we're preparing for Shabbat HaGadol, the big Shabbos, and here we have a speech that the Rebbe gave on Shabbat HaGadol 34 years ago. 34 years ago. Before we start, let's start off with charity as usual. Sion b'mishpat tepara, let us give charity. Give generously. And then Hashem will give to you generously. All right, we've talked now about what is the purpose of the Jewish people and how that's activated by Moses. And Moshe was a person that there was nothing like him. The only person that's going to be like Moshe will be the Moshiach. The Moshiach, because what did Moses do? What did Moses do? Historically speaking, Moses took the Jews out of Egypt, and he received the Torah. And he brought them through the desert for 40 years and directed them. That's externally, but there's a little bit, that's only like, you say, the tip of the iceberg. Even though that's a pretty big tip, of the iceberg, but it's a tip of the iceberg. What's the real thing that Moses did? The real thing that he educated. Moshe educated the Jews. That's the big novelty of Moses. He educated the Jews. First of all, he educated them that they're essentially not slaves of Paro, that they're really servants of God. Education. Secondly, he told them that they can actually do it, that they can leave. They can leave the rulership of Paro. They can leave the boundaries of, they say, being affected by the world negatively, and they can go out. They can go out. They can go from negativity. And then he taught them that they can go to positivity. He gave them the Torah. He gave them the purpose why they're in the world. Education. He educated the Jews how to get away from selfishness and how to get close to godliness and how to make the world godly. That's what Moses taught everyone. Mashiach is actually going to do it. Mashiach is actually going to really make the world a godly place. He's going to make the Jews all servants of God. He's going to actually, so in a way, Mashiach is just going to finish what Moses began. And Moses, he really finished what Abraham began. Abraham began serving God. That's the whole purpose of being in the world, is to serve the creator of the world, creator of the universe. God's creating everything. Okay, so says the Rebbe that only Moses could do this because Moshe was a person like everybody else, but Moshe was a God person, Ish Elokim, and he had the ability to bring God into people, Elokim into people, make everybody feel God, and not just the level of God which was sort of relevant to the world, that God is creating you, etc., which is a little bit sort of, let's say, kind of comprehensible, whatever, understandable. I mean, either I'm just being, just a product of nature, or something is creating me somehow or other. Right? That could be. So that's a little bit understandable. But that God really cares what we do, and that God cares about every detail, and that God gave us the power that we have to change the whole world and take away this. That's the insight of Moses. That's the name of Moses. So that Moses was a man of God. That's one aspect. But it says that it's Moses. His name was Moshe, and the Moshe means he was drawn from the water. And it says there's even a higher level than that. That's called tefillah. That joins all of them together, which is all wrapped together in the 90th Psalm of King David. Let's get to that Psalm over here. We go. There's that Psalm. This is pretty miraculous. Here we go. Let's try it again. There we go. Psalm number 9. See, the prayer of Moses, there's Psalm number 90, Parasodic 90. A song, a prayer. A prayer, it says that joins together. Moshe was the essence of Moses. That's the essence of his attachment to the essence of God, to Ish Elokim, and his ability to bring Elokim into each. It all comes together. Remember, we learned that all together. We learned that. Yes, good. So it says that that's the ability. Then we can bring the revelation of a Mashiach immediately. Nothing can stop. Nothing within time. Nothing. And this will show great miracles in the world. That's what the idea of Mashiach is, to change the nature of people. The people, every individual is willing and ready and able to change nature, to change the world. Okay. That what you said before. That which we said before. It is especially stressed when we're found in the month of Nisan, this month. And this is the month of, when the Rebbe was speaking, it was Shanat Niflot Ereno. It was Tav Shin Nun Aleph. Now we're in Pei Hey. Now we're Tav Pei Hey. So it's basically the same thing. When the Rebbe was speaking, I said, this will be the year of miracles. Ereno, I show you. Big miracles. And that was right around in when the Iron Curtain fell and that Saddam Hussein shot these 39 huge rockets into Israel and they blew up buildings and everybody. No one was hurt. No one was hurt. But now it's going to be even greater. I mean, maybe we can say that, now our Arab enemies, even though that the United Nations called them the victims, but our enemies have shot 30,000 missiles into Israel since October the 7th, and there's been minimal damage, 30,000, minimal damage. I mean, the fact that there was damage is bad enough, and there's been people killed, but commensurate to the number of missiles, if they would have shot 30,000 rocks into Israel, it would have hurt more people than it did. So that's big miracles. Also, if I can add, we've been fighting over there in Gaza. It's called Gaza. I don't know how they got the Gaza. It's not called Gaza. It's called Gaza. Since we've been fighting there for like 2-3 months now, and nobody's been hurt from our soldiers. It's really quite miraculous. Okay, that's maybe and also you should see that people in Israel, especially soldiers, non-religious soldiers, are starting to do Torah and commandments. They're coming back with tzitzis. It's really quite amazing. The whole, from bottom up, it's all changing in Israel, right? The elite, the top elite, they think that everything is just the same way it was when they took over the land, and the Sephardim and the religious people, they were just sort of, extra. And they were and all of a sudden it's changing. It's changing rapidly and drastically, invisibly in Israel. It's really quite amazing. Moshiach is supposed to come any second. That's what the Rebbe says. In any case, the Rebbe said this is a year of will be miracles I will show you. So we can make up our own thing. Let's drop the nun, pelos, because now it's pei hey. This is the year of plaot, miracles, right? HaMashiach. The miracles of Mashiach, Plaot HaMashiach. That's this year. I just made that up. You can make up something else, but it's a big miraculous year. This year is a miraculous year. Like it said in other letters, like the Rebbe said in letters that he wrote. The Rebbe used to write letters to all the Jews. That's what he said. L'kol b'nei u'benos Yisrael. He would write a letter to all the Jewish people. Right. That would be the address on the top of the letter. The call b'nei u'benos Yisrael to all the Jewish people wherever they are. Nevertheless, there are tremendous miracles that happened in this year. Like I said, the Iron Curtain fell and the thing of Saddam Hussein fell, which was right near the miracle of Purim. Purim, that's when Saddam Hussein fell. Shetitpatel Menaged, that there was the great enemy of the Jewish people. Until Shanitzachon Hevi Lakach, till the victory came, that the Ashone Yishachrir B'ofen Tov Chelik Mishavuya Milchama, that the enemy released all of the prisoners that he had. I don't really remember this exactly what happened, but Saddam Hussein, he freed all of the prisoners that he had. Like there are many details that were mentioned. I think Iran also, there was the whole Iran, the Contra thing, whatever. They took all these, they held the captives and the what is it? The embassy, the American embassy, they held captives, they let them go. Maybe that's what he's referring to. But in any case, bavadai, certainly, Yimshoch HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God will continue. Larot nisim niflot, big miracles, ad until the main miracle, erenu niflot, geula mit teshlema, the total redemption of the Jewish people. It all depends on God, of course. The whole thing depends on God doing it. But we have to be ready for it. We have to be ready for this big revelation of godliness, which is going to be basically the same thing as when we left Egypt. As the prophet Micha says, this war that happened in that part of the world, the war between Persia and Aram, it was between Persia and Iraq. These are some of the signs that immediately the redemption is supposed to come by means of Mashiach. Like it says in Yalchut Shimoni, it says, B'nei Altiro. It says over there that the whole world is going to be shaking and all the nations are going to be warring one with the other, and the Jews aren't going to know where to go. And God says, don't be afraid. The time of your redemption has arrived. Melech HaMashiach, the Melech HaMashiach, Omer al Gag, is standing on the roof of the Beit HaMikdash, of the Holy Temple. And he lets them know, and the Jewish people, tells the Jewish people and says, Anavim, humble ones, your redemption time has arrived. The Rebbe spoke many times, and it's in the Talmud. I just finished learning this, in fact. The Talmud in Megillah. It's like on page 29. And it says over there that there is, when the temple is destroyed, there is what's called a temple outside of Israel. Beit Rabbeinu Shabbavel. So there's always some house, some place from which Torah is spread out to the whole entire world. And the Rebbe said that that's 770 Eastern Parkway. I mean, there's no place in the world that they even try to spread Torah to the whole world, to all the non-religious people, non-religious Jews and unaffiliated Jews and unaware Jews from 770. So he said that is the holy temple from outside of Israel. And it says in the Talmud that in the future, it's going to fly to Israel with all the other synagogues and all the places of learning in the world. They'll all fly to Israel. Huh? They'll fly, and all the Jews will come with them. Then the Hamas won't have anybody to lock in rooms, and then Columbia University and things like that. All the professors over there, the anti-Israeli professors, will all say, what have I been doing? And they'll all fly to Israel also. However it's going to happen, I don't know, but it's going to happen. So that's going to happen after the third temple comes from heaven down to the earth. It's pretty fantastic stuff, but Judaism is pretty fantastic. That's the basic basis of Judaism, is these, maybe fantastic is the wrong word, because it's based on the word fantasy, and this is not fantasy. It will be amazing how it's going to be. But the fact is, the whole world is amazing, and the whole world is being created by God all the time. So God can create a world from nothing, so he can move a building from one place to another, jump over the Atlantic Ocean. Listen, 200 years ago, right? How old is the world? 5,700 years. According to science, the world is 20 billion, whatever, trillion years ago. If someone would have told you 200 years ago that you could take a piece of metal that weighed, I don't know, how much does that airplane weigh? A Boeing airplane with 1,000 tons, and you could fly it over the Atlantic Ocean, put people inside of it, they think you're a maniac. They think you're out of your mind. No one would get into it like that. Metal sinks. So it's done, right? It's done, and it's not a miracle. It's just one of the things of nature. So the same thing is all the buildings. In any case, whatever it is, the Rebbe is standing on the top of the 770, and he's announcing that the time of redemption has arrived. Right. I mean, it's true that was 34 years ago. So if it arrived back then, for sure it's going to arrive now. I mean, it has to arrive. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be the redemption. That's one of the 13 principles of Jewish faith. Nicole, now, all this we said before, every single Jew has a teaching in his service of God. Now we are on this year of big miracles, or like we said, like I just made up, Plaot, forget the miracles of the Mashiach, Plaot HaMashiach, Uba Gufa, and it itself in the month of Nisan, and we are in the week of Passover. Passover is going to be this Motzi Shabbos. Zman Cherotenu, the time of our freedom. We're free from Egypt and we're free to make the world a godly place. Is the Or Hamorot Vanisim, because of the occurrences and the miracles that we have seen, Shagaluim, that we can see the flesh, everyone can see it, and all the world can see it. So this we should arouse every Jew even more, even more, the desire and arouse the powers to do our service often. A nace that our service should also be miraculous, go out of our nature. Ad nisim, until the level of miracles of miracles. What does it mean, miracles of miracles? You don't even feel that the previous things that you did miraculously were miracles. It's natural. Like it says in the time of exile, it says hastir astir, that God hides his face twice. What does it mean? That God is so hidden, you don't even think he's hidden. The fact that he's hidden is even concealed from you, right? A person loses his car keys or something, so he knows he's lost them, right? Knows he lost them. But then there's a person who gets whatever it is, amnesia. So he doesn't even know he lost his keys, doesn't even know there's anything missing. So the same thing with miracles of miracles. Miracles of miracles will be that God will show us big miracles, and the second miracles will be so big that we'll forget that the first ones were even miracles. It'll be like natural. But we have to act that way right now. We have to go out of ourselves. It's not enough that you just elevate yourself. You go out of what you usually do in learning Torah, doing the commandments, spreading Judaism. You have to elevate yourself in all of this above and above. You have to go from strength to strength. In other words, you have to jump out of yourself and do more, and then jump out of that as well, until you can reach the level which is called a big miracle, amiti, the true miracle. Hakashur, which is connected to Gadol Hashem, great is God and very praised. I'm just reminding myself now that one of the times I went into Yechidus by the Rebbe, I was into the Rebbe. The Rebbe said this: you should go from chayil to chayil. He said, "No, from chayil." All right, good. You're remembering it now. Okay, so there is on this a special giving of power in this psalm, this 90th psalm, Tefilu Moshe Ish Elokim, a prayer of Moses, a prayer to Moses, man, God. What is the prayer? Yehi Noam Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu, that the pleasantness of God should be on us, U'masi Yadenu Konanu Aleinu, and that our handiwork should be permanent, U'masi Yadenu Konaneu, and our handiwork should be permanent on its own. Not that only that God should make it permanent, but that permanent means that the Shekhinah, God's presence, should be in everything we do. Everything we do should be meaningful and true and eternal. Moshe noten koach, and Moses gave the power to every Jew to do this. And especially because every Jew has a level of Moshe inside of him. That's what makes a Jew a Jew. Every Jew has inside of him a little Abraham and a little Moshiach and a little Moshe. That Moshe takes us out of our limitations. That he can reveal in himself the tzaddik shabo, this level of tzaddik, of purity, of pure godliness, which is inside. The Amech Kulam Tzadikim, and it says that all the Jewish people are tzaddikim. Kafi Sha'u Kashur, like it is, the tzaddik Hashem b'chol derachav, like it says in Psalm 145, that God is tzaddik, he is pure in everything that he does. Everything in the world that happens is good, or for the good, or it's has a little point of good inside of it. By means of this, that we can complete our service in the world of tzaddik. The word tzaddik is also, we said before, is sometimes called tzadi. Tzadi. Tzadi is 90, the number 90. And that's this psalm. That was the year of the Rebbe's 90th year. When he was speaking, it was 90. And then he said the word tzadi means my side. tzad is side, my side, lit maser lagamri, to be devoted totally, l'tzad, to my side, to God's side, the side of the Torah. Kach shezeh nasa tzadi, until it becomes my side totally, it becomes our side also, the side of the Torah. Shein shum mokom shel tzad nosef. That's the someone wrote to me. Some people write comments to me, and this person was a for Tikkun Olam. It's like the Reform movement. I mean, you can't really call it Reform Judaism because it's, even though the people that do it are Jews, but it's not anything to do with Judaism. Maybe a little bit, because Tikkun Olam means you have to fix up the world, and that's the purpose of the Jewish people, is to fix up the world. But it has to be according to the Torah. So this person wrote, you'll probably say I'm a self-hating Jew. And I wrote back, that's not so. It's important to you to be a Jew just as much as it's important to me to be a Jew. The problem is you don't know the definition of a Jew. The definition of a Jew is Torah. The Torah is what defines a Jew. The Torah is what expresses a Jew. The Torah is what reveals a Jew. The Torah is the very identity and the essence of what a Jew is. The Torah talks about the connection between us and God and us, and why the world is here. That's the Torah, and how to make the world better. It's the commandments. Learning the Torah. That's true Jewish identity. And from that, the Torah is given by the creator of the universe. Just like the Torah is for the Jewish people, so the creator of the universe is for everybody in the world. And the only time the creator of the universe ever spoke to man and told him exactly what he wants is the Torah. Judaism is the only religion that even claims that God himself personally spoke to millions of people and told them why he's creating everything. Right? What you're supposed to do in the world, what the Jewish people are here for. That's the job of the Jewish people. And that's what Moshiach is going to reveal. And that's what the Rebbe, who is the Moshiach, he's revealing now. That you have to reveal the power of infinite good which is inside of you, whether regarding to yourself, whether regarding to other Jews, spreading out Torah and Judaism, spreading out the well springs of Judaism, and also to have an effect on non-Jews whenever you meet them, that they should do the 7 Noahide commandments, which anybody doesn't know, you can look it up. Like anything else, there's a lot of, there is the misleading information on it, but generally speaking, the 7 Noahide commandments are, the first one is worship only God. You can't worship anything else, not the Son of God, not God's brother or his spirit or his ghost or something like that. Worship only God. Number 1. Number 2, don't say the name of God for no reason. You're not allowed to say the name of God, what's called in vain. Number 3, don't kill. Like I say, there's explanations of all this. Sometimes it is permissible to kill if you're protecting your own life or something. Don't kill. Don't steal. That includes also don't damage other people. Don't damage other people. Don't be licentious. Sex is only between a man and his wife. Homosexuality is forbidden. Right? Yeah. You have to make courts of justice to enforce this. And you can't eat a limb which was taken from an animal before it was killed. That's it. Those are the 7 Noahide commandments, but those are really only the negative ones. There's also positive ones. There it goes. There's also positive commandments. There's 30 of them. I wrote an essay on it. Maybe I'll post it. Okay. In any case, to encourage the non-Jews also to do the 7 Noahide commandments. Ubezen, this we come to save. Now we can use another something that happened in the world. We can learn something from this, how to serve God. What is it? Hashgacha pratis, it happened to be that in these days, Hashgacha pratis means with divine, direction, miraculously, there came in these days an addition and a decision. In the Beit Nivchar Shel Medina Zu, in this state, in New York, Sheyesh lahem hakoach, they have the power, the din and the malchus adina, like it says that the laws of the country are the law, and bekesher the kavias yom ashte asr yom, and they decided to make the 11th day of the year of the month of Nisan every year, Yom Chizuk Chinuch, Education Day. Yesodas b'Yesov Olam ba'avor kol toshvei Medina b'kol toshvei Olam. They decided. he's speaking about Washington. Washington decided that there's going to be National Education Day, and that day is going to fall every year on the birthday of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Whenever that falls out, it doesn't always fall out on the same non-Jewish date, but it falls out on the 11th day of the month of Nisan. And they decided that there's going to be Education Day. What they do with it now, I don't know, but that's supposed to be Education Day. Education mainly for the 7 Noahide commandments. That this should be in a way of tzedek. Tzedek. It should be in a way of tzaddik. Lagia gam chutza she'ein chutza mimeno. That this level of tzaddik, the Rebbe said, is the end. The last letter is a kuf that comes down to the bottom, below the line. In other words, that the will of God, that the non-Jews should live an orderly and a blessed life by means of doing the 7 Noahide commandments, it should reach to the whole entire world. From America, it's the whole world. Hadgashem Yuched, this is a special stress in this time, and that we have to give everything that's needed for the holiday, matzah and the cups, etc., for the Yom Tov. The Yesh Lo Arer, we should also talk about another thing, which is in the places that they do make a Seder Tziburi. They make sometimes public Passover Seders. Yeshnam Kama Makomos, there are many places that in them they made preparations to do only one Passover Seder. I'm going to tell a story about Passover Seders in a minute because they don't have money. So it says the Rebbe, because there's a lack of funds, some Chabad houses or whatever, that they only make one general Passover Seder, which makes it very difficult for a lot of people to come, or they'll have to drive their cars or whatever. Excuse me. Says the Rebbe, it is very, very necessary that you should make a big effort to make at least 2 Passover Seders, at least, and that the expenses should be divided also for 2 nights. And certainly you won't need this because God certainly will give you money. He'll give you someone to donate the money for everything you need and even more. But think big, don't think small. 2 Seder nights. There should be for people so that people all over can come. There's places where they make in cities in Israel, right, where the Chabad house makes like 5, 6 Seder nights. In places where people can come. And now others are also doing it. Other group, may it be God's will that it shall be fulfilled, completed the prayer of Moses and the Moses, which is inside of every single Jew. Like it says, Tefillah Lamisha, Moshe Isha Elokim, that the prayer of Moses, man, God, that everyone should feel God, how God is relevant to the world, and also even Moshe, how God is above the world. God gave the Torah, and they should be joined together in our day-to-day life. V'yehi noam Hashem Elokeinu, and the pleasantness, the blessing of God should be on you. And again, this is for the Jewish people, of course. God took the Jewish people out of the world, but he took them out of the world for the world. I'm sorry. He took the Jewish people out of Egypt, to free them for the world. Something similar like Chabad. Chabad was in Russia. And it was in Russia for 200 whatever years until the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was put into prison and sentenced to death, miraculously got out, and he left Russia. When he left Russia and he came to America, that freed Chabad to the whole world. It's like going out of Egypt. It freed the ideas of the oneness of God to all mankind. That's truly going out of Egypt. That's what it means, Yehi Noam Hashem Elokeinu, that the pleasantness of God should be on us. The pleasantness of God is talking about God's presence, the Shekhinah. It should be on our handiwork. And the whole time of the Adenu, that everything we did in the course of the exile, how many millions of Jews, they gave their lives for Judaism. They sacrificed their time and their energy and their money and their how do you say, their peace of mind, only in order to serve God. Right? They just think about it. It's really quite amazing. The Jews were exiled from all these countries, from Spain and from Portugal, and they took the Talmud with them. They took the Talmud with them. They took Sefer Torahs with them. Instead of bringing food, instead of bringing clothes, they carried with them Talmud. It's incredible. That's how we have it today. Took amazing self-sacrifice. Jews, that's just the tip of the iceberg. How many pogroms and all those good deeds that were done will reveal that they were really permanent. That's what it means, that the pleasantness of God, the blessing of God will be on everything that we did. Ma'aseh Yadeinu. See, that's the end of the psalm. The pleasantness of God will be on us, and our deeds that we did, God will make permanent for us, and then our deeds that we did will be permanent on their own. And that Shekhinah should rest on our handiwork and our deeds and everything we did in the course of the exile, to take of me out immediately. And the main thing is the third temple will come from heaven, Mikdash Hashem Kodecha, that the holy temple which you have made, God, and it's ready to come down, will be revealed. And then all of the synagogues in the world will fly to Israel, and all of the Jews will wake up and they'll want to do all the commandments, and it's impossible to do all the commandments unless you're where the holy temple is. And that will draw all of the Jews to Israel, because Jews will realize the true identity of a Jew is Torah and the commandments. Then the whole world will be a perfect place. There's enough land for trillions of people to live. There's enough blessing in the land for all of those people to receive bounty. There's enough genius hidden inside of humanity that hasn't been revealed yet. New ideas. One person has to come make a new idea, and the whole world is improved. The whole world is improved. And you have millions and millions of people in India, geniuses, in China, in Russia. People, not just one or two, but that's all we need is one or two. They can figure out how to make food from air. They can figure out how to make people live until 700 years old, right, without ever getting sick. Everything is possible. But because the Moshiach has not been revealed, so godliness is not revealed, so all this potential is not awakened. It will be awoken. For sure it will be. That's the idea of splitting of the sea. All the things that's concealed will go away, and it'll be revealed only the good, the essential good, which is in every human being. Like God said after the flood, every man is created in God's image, and the essential good which is in the world. After God created the world, the sixth day of creation, he said God saw everything he made. This was even after Adam sinned from the tree. God saw everything he made, and it was very good. And the main thing, how close God is and how God cares about each and every one of us. Now let's do the Yom Yom. Let's do the Yom. Here we go.